looking so
Hello.
beautiful.
No,
Doing
and
Hi,
well, doing
y'all.
well.
Doing well?
Yeah,
Happy?
Yes,
good.
Was
yes.
that an evil laugh?
You and your evil laugh.
That's an evil laugh, so let's
Yep. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay, so let's not belabor this because we've already been talking. Let's bring everybody into this conversation.
Okay.
Mental illness or evil. Is there a difference or do you think they're connected? This is just our opinion. We're not medical professionals. Disclosure right now. So nobody will not drag us
For
Right.
entertainment purposes only.
for
For
entertainment.
entertainment purposes
This
only.
is just
Okay.
our opinion.
Yeah,
So who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
go first. I'll go first. And simply because I brought the topic to the table because of everything that I see that we see going on.
Mhm,
We just recently had another shooting.
mhm.
And they're getting more and more common. And so my thought process is, do parents see things in their children early on? And depending on how early they see it, when a child is 2 or 3 and they're doing things because they can be that young, is that mental illness, or do they have these evil tendencies, right? And so, are we feeding it the older they get, or by us not having it addressed and having a medical diagnosis, does one turn into the other? Does that illness turn into evil, or is just evil just an act itself and not necessarily the person? So I have all these thoughts that run through my mind because I have seen for myself kids that have, what is it, sociopathic tendencies
Yeah.
when they were young, and then now, they're on FBI's most wanted list. You know what I mean? Because of things that they've done. But then now I sit back and I say, well, I remember when he was 7 and he was throwing them cats on the roof, and you know what I mean? So clearly there were some issues there, and there's some family history as well. But you know is that someone that's evil, or is that someone who's gone undiagnosed and untreated with a mental illness? And this is the ramifications of that.
So is the person that's, see, I don't know. And so
I,
the person who
oh,
has a
that's
mental
so hard.
illness,
I'm just telling you.
are they remorseful because it's something that they can't control and it's, you know what I mean? I guess the
Okay.
remorseful
So
being remorseful would give me the difference, but I don't think.
So this is my thought on it, and I'm just going to take it to where, you know, um, I do believe that evil is present because that's just where God is. Evil is also there. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
believe
Right.
evil is present. I think when we start to give categories of evil, that's when I think mental illness starts to come in there because we try to justify what people are doing, you know what I mean, that may be hideous or not hideous or something that's repetitious, that's not godly or godlike, you know what I mean? Or even down to the simplest things where people just do just mean spirited things. It doesn't have to physically hurt you. You see what I'm saying? People have
Okay.
evil spirits on them. I think of a lot of different things. When I think about mental illness, I think about like I have, and I won't mention, I have family members who were mentally ill. They didn't never hurt anybody and they never were evil, but they had multiple personalities. They had severe depression. They had lots of things that could be identifiable and treated. You see what I'm saying? I think that evil cannot be treated unless you bring God into it. That's how I feel about it. I think that evil is something that we have to know is present. Like when we look at some little kids like Chauncey, I was over here trying to hold my laugh, but it really isn't funny. But usually they say the first sign is when little kids start hurting little animals. You see what I'm saying? That
Right.
something
Exactly.
Yeah, something is wrong because you naturally have a tender heart for small little animals. You see what I'm saying? You never
Right.
want to see them
Right.
suffer. But I mean, we grew up with somebody who was doing crazy things, and I ain't gonna mention their name. They were
Right.
the one you talk about on the FBI most wanted, but they
You
they
know who you are. No.
they were doing like really suspect things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Very early on.
very early on, and I'm talking about like setting fires, and that someone can get hurt, you know what I mean, like
Right.
not hurt but die, so
Right.
I,
um
I think the difference is the intent,
mhm,
evil versus mental illness. Because a
mhm,
mental illness is when it's distorted. Their judgment is distorted. They're having a hard time coping. Um, it's just something going on chemically, I believe. I think evil is when you are just you, and then again, I can't say that either because if you're evil,
It'd be the
something has
same.
to be wrong.
It'd be the
Something
Right.
has to be
same.
wrong. But you are deliberately setting out to do something harmful to someone with no regard, no remorse, no feeling about it whatsoever. And isn't it funny how, and especially when you're younger and you have older people tell you, it's something about that child right there. I don't need you. You shouldn't play with this child. You shouldn't be around that
yeah, yeah,
there. That's just not sitting right. You're like, oh, well, I don't see nothing.
yeah,
Or you tell your kids, don't hang around so and so.
You ain't see that
They
side.
So
don't have a good. They don't have a good intent.
yeah,
so so
something.
it says that evil is not considered a mental illness in the medical field. It
Okay.
is a moral concept, not a clinical diagnosis, meaning someone can be considered evil based on their actions and choices, not necessarily due to a diagnosable mental health condition. While some severe mental illnesses may manifest in behaviors that could be perceived as evil, the
Okay.
concept of evil itself is not a medical diagnosis. So,
Okay.
like Kimmy was saying, for there to be good, there has to be evil. We we don't tend to walk around using the word evil because we say to be good, there has to be bad, right?
mhm,
But evil is worse than bad, right?
yeah,
You can
yeah.
have a bad day, but if you got an evil day, that's something completely different,
That's
right?
called get the Bible out now, some holy oil, something quickly, but
Right.
you,
But we know that there has to be a balance to
yeah,
anything that's in the universe, right? So, as believers, we believe God exists, right? But for God to exist, there must be evil that exists as well.
mhm.
But again, it being they're saying a moral concept more than it is diagnosable. But undiagnosed, you know, certain undiagnosed mental illness can lead to evil behavior.
I'm
so
thinking about
so
a relationship I had with somebody who was bipolar and they was evil.
so
Okay? It was
so
evil.
yeah, but see, what I think about that too, Celeste, like giving evil like more of a demented stage than to say that some people are just evil. You know what I mean? Evil
Okay.
where you have no remorse on what you do and you have the intent to bring misery to somebody because it don't have to be bodily harm like you didn't took them and
Right.
chopped them up, you know what I mean? Think about it. I feel like I've worked with people who don't never want to like
I think I've seen that, and because I work with very young people, I have seen, I want to say, the beginning stages
mhm,
of a child that could be considered evil when you're sitting in a circle and the child purposely, I mean, all the time would step on a child's hand, know it's there, and you watch them just mash it and say, you shouldn't put your hand down there. It's like, okay. And then just other little small stuff that's kind of
that's the
building.
point
You
that
have
I'm
to watch
making.
it where you have to always separate that child from the other children because you don't know what they might do, just purposely doing something. I think that's the beginning
Yeah,
of something that can manifest.
I
And
agree
it
with
was
you.
one to the point that I remember the mom said she does so much. I really don't want her. I really don't want. I've had that in the
Wow.
past. I really don't want her because it was
Yeah.
just so much, and you could tell that she was going, and I didn't see her because, went to another place. But that was the beginning to me. Now I
Yeah.
think on it as yeah, I hope that she got some help because I'm
Now,
thinking she's doing a whole lot.
now this person that was bipolar, when I saw them act out evil, is when they felt like somebody was doing them wrong. So they didn't have that. I'm just mad at you. I'm not gonna talk to you no more. I'm not your friend type of stuff. They were,
Right.
I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you. And you
Okay.
was got. You was gonna
Okay.
get got.
So when you
But
have
it was
these scenarios,
evil.
yeah, when you have these scenarios like that, it makes it a little bit more clearer because I think we put these labels on people that they're mentally ill, but that type of scenario, Celeste,
Mhm.
that's just being evil. So
They
keep
were evil.
you hit it on the button. You're stepping on somebody's hand because you want to, and you just know that's going to hurt that child. You see what I'm saying? Like, what made you spark in your head to do that? You see what I'm saying? It's just little things, and I could tell you, like from relationships, um, people I know are still in relationships, and it's 40 plus years, and the person has inflicted so much pain on this person. You can't use that as a mental illness. You see what I'm saying? That's intentional. You see what I'm saying? That's intentional. You have thrived off of someone else's weakness to bring them pain. You see what I'm saying? Because when I say
Okay.
somebody else's weakness, like they may have low self-esteem, they so on and so on. You see what I'm saying? You thrive off of that and you have demoralized, hurt them, and kept them mentally captive with the things you've done. To me, that's evil. That is evil.
So then, can an evil person do good things?
Hell no, they evil.
Oh, if they want to hide it from other people, hide it from because most of the time, if you people that are what psychopaths,
Mm-hmm.
they usually have another persona that people don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah, because you have psychopaths and then you have sociopaths.
Sociopath.
sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
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 They present one way to the world, but then they're totally sadistic at home or wherever to certain people, and
Okay.
you never know. Yeah.
Because is a narcissist evil? Or does a
That's a
narcissist just
good
do
one.
evil things? That, like I said, that's what kind of just made me think about it. Watching something, reading something, when you look at these mass shootings and you think about these young people who are doing it. They're not even 18, some of them, just
Their brain
recently
is not
something
even
happened that,
formed.
you know what I mean? But are they doing it because it's a reaction to something that was done to them, or
I
because,
think so.
again, it was untreated mental illness that has caused them to go? So then, can they be redeemed, right? Um, from a from a from a spiritual perspective, we know that they can, right? But
Right.
society may not necessarily feel the same way. So it
Right.
just, I don't know what made me think of the topic. It just, like I said,
I
I was
think
just
it was
looking at
it's a good
something.
topic. I think it's so many people out here that we even see in the news, like you said, shootings, children, all kinds of people doing all kind of crazy, despicable things that you say, I would never even think of that. You know what I mean? And why would they do that? You see what I'm saying? Like where you can't wrap your mind around it because I don't think that I think evil. You know what I mean? And like if I'm mad about something, I'm just mad. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna let it
Right, right.
out. I'm not sitting back thinking how I can really destroy somebody and hurt them to devastate their life and things like that. To me,
Okay.
that's somebody who is evil. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you
And I hear people say that too. Everything is about attack. It is about, like
yeah
you said, how can you just crush,
crush
this,
somebody.
the crush somebody. And so
Not
I
to
have
get
seen it
back
from a
at
distance,
them, but crush them. You know what I
but
mean?
crush them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
even to they don't even exist anymore. You know what I mean? Because you could do that to somebody. Think about children today. Kids are committing suicide because some kids do not get off of the gas pedal when it comes to attacking and bullying and you know what do we call that? Do we call that person mentally ill? That teenager or whoever else is just
That's
constantly.
evil.
That's
They
evil. That's
Well,
evil.
I think we find a way to. I think we find a way to create. I don't want to say create the mental illness, but
Mhm.
we do find a way, right? Because when
Yeah,
we try
yeah,
to justify their behavior, then we go back to look at their upbringing. We go back to look at what
yep,
they're
yep,
living in, what their situation is, to come up with a reason as to why they're doing it.
yeah,
But from that professional's point of view, and maybe one day we could have someone on who could explain, when
yeah.
does that professional say, this isn't mental illness? This
Mm-mm.
is something completely
yeah.
different. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
That's
was
when
just
you get in the
curious
court of law, and that's when you start finding titles to put behind people to help them get lower sentences and less terms and things like that. Because, um, just like you said, Chauncey, look at you was a child and you got mom
what
and
happened to
daddy
you,
issues
and
and things like that, where
yeah,
the percentage of people that have mommy and daddy problems when they were growing up don't turn out to go and wipe a whole building out. You see what I'm saying?
right,
So,
exactly.
yeah, I think this was a
Okay,
good episode. So,
I was just curious what you all might have thought, and so that's why I brought it to the table, because I just so many things that we read, so many things that we even see on a TV show or a movie or whatever, it is art imitating life. There's nothing new under the sun, right?
mhm,
So it's happening somewhere, even if we don't always see it. Someone
absolutely,
is experiencing it and going through that. So,
absolutely. So, my final thought is, I think there is a difference between evil and mental illness. And if someone is evil, I think that their behavior is more consistent than someone that's probably suffering with something mentally that can have a label or something like that. Because, like you said, Keisha, I think it starts at a young age. I don't think people, and I could be wrong, I could be wrong. I don't think that people just all of a sudden you're 40 years old, you morph to this evil person. I think it was always something there, just it depends on the interaction you have had with certain people that they were able to see that you know have a lot of evil in you. Because evil can be
mhm,
the smallest little things with the intent behind it. So that's how I feel about it. What's your final thoughts, Lee?
gotcha.
Well, my final thought would be, especially for the young, if you see something, I think intervention, if that is possible, intervention, you gotta really pay attention to the children's um their mood change. You gotta pay
Mhm.
attention to what's
Yeah,
going on. You have to really watch. And especially if you're in education, you have to watch out for those signs. And parents, watch out for those signs because one day they happen and all of a sudden strange things are going on, or they're quiet, or they're withdrawn, or something's always happening. You have to watch it and try to get some
Okay.
help.
All right. I agree with you both. I just think that I feel like there are a lot of mental illness aspects that go untreated, undiagnosed, that can cause that person to become amoral, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or immoral, and perform certain acts. Um, I hope I don't think I'm qualified to really truly know what evil is. Um, if I'm looking at it, because I think by nature, like everybody else, you want to see the good. But I also know from studying and from knowing, just, trying to understand God's will, is that we all are not inherently good. We're just
Right,
not.
and
right.
like I said,
And so
if you run into somebody and they don't have no whites in their eye and it's all black, I'm just saying. I'm just
it,
saying.
it has,
And,
listen,
and
it
it's
has happened.
it has happened. This is not nothing I'm
Yeah,
saying making up. I'm just
right,
saying
right.
that's definitely ain't something of God. So you
Yes.
might want to get up and leave. So Les.
All right.
Well, my final thoughts. I'm still not there yet. I believe. Now I want to tiptoe around this because mental illness is not something to joke about and play
Right.
about.
Correct.
So
Mhm.
Correct.
I want to
Yes.
be clear that I know that there are people that are suffering through mental illness.
Right.
I do believe that that person could be suffering with it and still be evil.
Okay.
Because I feel like I don't want it to sound like one is the same as the other, but they could both be present. And I can't even imagine going through some mental illnesses, being so frustrated, being so angry about the way people are treating you and mistreating you, that you do act out sometime, and it could be in an evil way. So I'm
Okay.
taking the easy way out. I believe they both can be
That's
present.
a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's a
Definitely
really
fair.
good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. All right. Well,
That's
I
fair.
think that
Well, thank you guys for indulging me.
I think that was a good topic, and especially in the times we live in now. We'll see who
Yeah,
is mentally ill or
Absolutely.
who is evil. You know what I mean?
right.
Because sure,
Maybe.
enough of it to go around. You know what I mean? So
It is. And sometimes we just will never have an answer. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean by that. Sometimes you're
mhm.
never going to get an answer and they'll try to create one, but you'll never know for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right. So joining me tonight.
So as your girl Celeste, and I always normally say stuff like, taking care of oneself is not selfish, but that also includes your mental health, right? So if you feel or you're experiencing things like that, you need to get some help. Don't let it get to the point where you're hiding and trying to mask it and then it becomes out of control. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
This is your girl Chauncey, and I will say we all have resources available. So if there is anything that you are experiencing and you feel like you might be struggling with some sort of undiagnosed mental illness, don't hesitate to reach out to us so that we can point you in the direction of those that can offer you some help. Because the only way to fix it, the only way to treat it and to deal with it is to get the help and not be afraid to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's the girl Keisha. Learn about it. Intervention. Watch out for the little ones. Watch out for those evil intents. And yeah, intervention.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. All right, join us next Wednesday when we bring a new episode. Have a wonderful week on purpose. We are the ladies of Let's Chit Chat Sis. Have a wonderful week. I said that already, but yeah.